Most concentration camps banned tattoos. Buchenwald didn't. Why? Because the Commandant's wife collected them. Ilse Koch would walk the prisoner lines looking for interesting tattoos, eagles, ships, roses, religious symbols, and when she found one she liked, she'd select that prisoner for special detail. They'd be killed, their skin removed, tanned like leather, and turned into objects. She had lampshades made from tattooed skin, book covers, gloves, even a handbag. The prisoners knew. If you had a visible tattoo, you were in danger. Some tried to burn theirs off. Some cut them out, because at Buchenwald, your body art could become someone's lampshade. This is the Witch of Buchenwald. And this is what evil looks like when it collects souvenirs. Ilse Koch, born 1906, Dresden, Germany, grew up in an ordinary family, middle class, studied bookkeeping. As a young woman, she joined the Nazi Party. Early 1930s, back then, like many Germans, she believed in Nazi ideology, purity, superiority, the new Germany. And there, at a party meeting, she met Karl-Otto Koch, SS officer, handsome, ambitious, ruthless. They married in 1937, and this marriage would become one of history's most horrific partnerships, because Karl was rising, becoming a concentration camp administrator, first Sachsenhausen, then Buchenwald, and Ilse, she was rising too, but in a different way, as a collector. Buchenwald, established 1937, near Weimar, Germany. Isn't that ironic? Weimar, Goethe's city, the cradle of German culture, and a few kilometers away, a hell camp. Karl-Otto Koch was appointed commandant in 1939, and Ilse, as the commandant's wife, she had special status, could enter and exit the camp, could see the prisoners, could give orders. And she used this. But how did she use it? Not like a typical Nazi wife. She didn't just ignore it. She participated actively, and she developed a passion, a collection passion. But what was she collecting? Stamps? Coins? No. Human skin. At first they were small things. A glove, leather, but different texture, soft but firm. Strange. Then a wallet, small, handmade. Again, that strange texture. And Ilse liked them because they were unique. Nobody else had things like this. But where were they coming from? From camp workshops. Buchenwald had leather-working workshops. Prisoners worked there, making bags, belts, shoes. But there were some special orders for the commandant's wife, and these orders were made from different leather, human skin. At the beginning, did Ilse know? Probably. But she didn't care, because she liked them, and she kept wanting more. At some point, Ilse noticed some of the skins had tattoos, and these were more beautiful, more interesting. Eagle, ship, heart, anchor, each one a work of art. And Ilse thought, I want more of these, but finding tattooed skin is hard because most prisoners don't have tattoos. So what do? You place an order. And Ilse did exactly that. She told the camp SS personnel, I want tattooed prisoners. Show them to me. And they showed her, in lines. This man has a ship on his back. This woman has a rose on her arm. Which one do you want? And Ilse chose, just like shopping at a store. This one, and that one, and that one. She pointed, and those prisoners were sent to special detail. What did special detail mean? It meant death. The selected prisoner would be taken to the camp hospital, killed there, usually by injection, phenol to the heart, quick, considered humane by Nazi standards. Then the skin would be removed, carefully, the area with the tattoo, back, arm, chest, wherever the tattoo was, that section of skin would be taken. Then processing, salted, tanned, softened, just like animal leather. But this was human skin, and then it would be shaped, lampshade, book cover, glove, wallet, handbag, whatever was ordered, and delivered to Ilse. Here you are, Frau Koch, the item you ordered. And she'd thank them, admire it, put it in her house, show it to guests. Look at this lampshade. Look at the tattoo. Isn't it unique? Isn't it? When did the prisoners figure it out? Fast, because camps are places of rumor. Someone disappears. A week later, items are seen. Tattooed skin. Remember the eagle on that guy's back? Now it's on a lampshade in Frau Koch's living room. Whispers, fear, and then a strategy developed. Hide your tattoo. If you have a tattoo and it's visible, you're in danger. Some prisoners wore long sleeves. Not a problem in winter, but hard in summer. Some covered their tattoos with dirt. Some used more drastic methods. Burning, with acid, even cutting. Self-harm. But to get rid of the tattoo, because a tattoo made you selectable. And being selected meant death. Think about that. The art on your body becomes the thing that kills you. Your tattoo doesn't protect you, it destroys you. What was Ilse Koch's lifestyle? Luxury. At the edge of Buchenwald, the Commandant's villa stood. Beautiful, spacious, with a garden. Even had a stable because Ilse loved horseback riding. Looking down on the camp from above, while prisoners died of starvation, she drank champagne. While prisoners froze in barracks, she sat by a burning fireplace in her living room. And she was surrounded by her collection. Lampshades, special ones with tattoos, book covers, from human skin, gloves on her desk, again human skin. When visitors came, she'd show them, with pride. Look at this lampshade, look at the tattoo. Isn't it unique? And some visitors would be uncomfortable. This doesn't look like normal leather. Ilse would smile. It's not, it's special. Only I have these. We need to talk about Karl-Otto Koch, because he was a monster too. As Buchenwald Commandant, he was responsible for thousands of deaths. Starvation, torture, executions, medical experiments, all under his supervision. But in 1943, something happened. The SS arrested him. Why? Corruption, embezzlement, and private murder. Because Karl was killing prisoners for his own benefit, for money, for valuables. He even had some prisoners killed for purely personal reasons. And the SS didn't accept this, because for them, murder had to be ideological. Killing enemies was acceptable. But for personal gain? No, that counted as breach of discipline. In April 1945, Karl-Otto Koch was executed. By the SS shot, but Ilse? She survived. April 11, 1945, American troops reached Buchenwald, found the camp, open, because the SS guards had fled. The prisoners were still there, thin, sick, but alive. The American soldiers were shocked. Corpses, mass graves, ovens, horrific. But then they found the Commandant's villa. And when they went inside, another shock. Luxury, clean, beautiful furniture and objects, strange objects. A soldier touched a lampshade. What's this texture? He looked closer and saw it. A tattoo, an eagle in the skin, human skin, lampshade made from human skin. They kept searching. More lampshades, book covers, gloves, handbag, all made from the same material. Human skin. And tattooed. Even music boxes, decorated, chilling. Who made these? Whose villa was this? Ilse Koch, the Commandant's wife. Ilse Koch was arrested. Not immediately, because as the war ended, she tried to escape. Changed identity. I'm just a housewife, she said. But she was recognized. Buchenwald prisoners recognized her. Her, the witch, the one who collected tattoos. They pointed. The Americans arrested her, interrogated her. At first, she denied it. I didn't do anything. I was just the Commandant's wife. I had nothing to do with the camp. But there was evidence. Lampshades, book covers, gloves, all in her house, all made from human skin, all tattooed. Where did these come from? I don't know. They were gifts. From who? From camp personnel. They knew I appreciated fine things. Fine things. Human skin lampshades. The courtroom went silent. 1947. Dachau. American Military Tribunal. Ilse Koch in the defendant's chair. Charges, war crimes, crimes against humanity, murder. Witnesses came one after another. Buchenwald prisoners. She would select the tattooed ones, point at them, then they'd disappear. Another witness. One day she selected my friend. He had a ship tattoo on his back. Next day he was dead. A week later I saw a book cover made from his skin. Evidence was shown. A lampshade, brought into the courtroom. Everyone saw it. Leather, tattoo, human. Ilse's defense? I didn't know these were made from human skin. The prosecutor asked, how do you explain the tattoos? Maybe animal skin. Some animals have markings too. Nobody believed it. Verdict, guilty. Sentence, life in prison. 1949, 2 years later. Something happened. The American military governor, General Lucius Clay, released Ilse Koch. Why? Insufficient evidence. He said, the world was shocked. The press went crazy. Witch of Buchenwald freed. American public outraged. Congress launched an investigation. How can she be released? The evidence is clear. But some reports said other things. Human skin lampshades couldn't be proven. Maybe pig skin. Maybe goat. Really? Or was it a political decision? The Cold War had started. West Germany was becoming an ally. Maybe prosecuting too many Nazi criminals was politically uncomfortable. Maybe Ilse was a small pawn. But the public didn't forgive, and German authorities took action. 1951, West German court. Ilse Koch was tried again. This time not by Americans, by Germans, prosecuting their own crimes. Same charges, but this time more witnesses, more evidence. Prisoners testified she terrorized the camp, not just the tattoo collection. Torture, rape, arbitrary executions. She beat prisoners, set her dogs on them. For entertainment. A female witness. She visited the camp while pregnant, saw a pregnant prisoner, said, interesting. After birth, she had that prisoner killed. The baby too. Why? I was curious, she said. These testimonies froze the courtroom because this wasn't just collection. This was sadism, pure sadism. Verdict, guilty. Sentence, life in prison. Final. Eichach Prison, Bavaria, Germany. Ilse Koch stayed there for life. What kind of prisoner was she? Difficult, complaining, kept saying I'm innocent. I'm a victim. A political witch hunt. Showed no remorse. Never. Other prisoners in the prison recognized her. The Witch of Buchenwald is here. Some were scared. Some hated her. Some attacked her. Ilse was isolated, under protection. Years passed. The 1960s. Ilse aging but still denying. Writing letters to lawyers, to politicians. I'm innocent. I was wrongly convicted. Nobody answered because everyone knew. Evidence was clear. Witnesses in the hundreds. Guilty. Absolutely guilty. September 1st, 1967. Eichach Prison. Morning check. Guards came to Ilse Koch's cell, opened the door, and found her, hanged, with her own bedsheets, neck broken, dead. She was 60 years old. Did she leave a suicide note? Yes, brief. I am innocent. History will vindicate me. That's all. No remorse, no apology. Still in victim role. Why did she commit suicide? Probably realized she'd never be released. 16 years in prison, no pardon, no hope. And maybe her conscience? No, because the tone of that note isn't remorse. She still saw herself as right, even in death. Ilse Koch died, but her legacy remained. Her collection remained. Evidence in museums, as a reminder. Today, some of them still exist. In museums, those lampshades, book covers, controversial, because some say they shouldn't be displayed. Human remains, disrespectful. But others, they must be displayed because people forget. Holocaust deniers exist. Evidence must be shown. Which side is right? I don't know. But I know this. Each of those objects was a person. A name, a family, a life. And Ilse Koch took those lives. Didn't just kill them. Turned them into objects. Made them decoration. Destroyed human dignity. Completely. And that's maybe the most horrific part. Not just killing. Humiliating, objectifying, stealing humanity. Let's go back to Karl-Otto Koch, because his story matters too. Executed by the SS in 1945. But why really? Official reason, corruption. But could the real reason be different? Some historians say Ilse's collection was a factor because the SS found out about it, and they were embarrassed. Yes, the SS was embarrassed. Strange, isn't it? An organization that killed millions was embarrassed by human skin lampshades. Why? Because it looked undisciplined, not ideological, for personal pleasure. And the SS didn't accept that, so they cleaned up Karl. Execution. But Ilse remained, because she wasn't a soldier, just a wife. And then the war ended, and the Americans caught her, and the cycle of injustice began. Why? Why did Ilse Koch do this? Psychologists analyzed some theories. 1. Sadism. She took pleasure from causing pain. Power gave her pleasure. 2. Narcissism. She wanted to be unique. I have things nobody else has. 3. Dehumanization. She didn't see prisoners as human. They were objects, resources, things to be used. 4. Nazi ideology. Lower races were worthless. Using them was acceptable. 5. Her husband's influence. Maybe Karl guided her, maybe encouraged her. Which theory is right? Maybe all, maybe none are sufficient. But the result's the same. Hundreds of people died for her collection, had their skin removed, were turned into objects, and Ilse enjoyed it, was proud of it, never repented until the end. Today, Buchenwald is a memorial, a museum. You can visit, see the camp, the prisoner barracks, the ovens, the mass graves, and the Commandant's villa, still there, but not luxurious anymore. Empty, a place of remembrance. And guides tell the story. This was Ilse Koch's house. She lived here. From here, she watched the camp. And here she kept her collection. Human skin lampshades, book covers, gloves. Visitors are shocked. Really? Human skin? Yes. Real. Documented. Witnesses. Evidence. And this must not be forgotten. Because Ilse Koch isn't just a monster. She's a symptom of the Nazi system, a product of an ideology that turned people into objects. What do we learn from this story? Turning people into objects is possible if you see them as other, inferior, worthless. Then everything becomes acceptable. Killing, using, dismembering. Nazi Germany systematized this. Jews, Gypsies, Slavs, all were Untermensch, subhuman. So using them wasn't a problem. As workers, as experiment subjects, even as material. Hair, teeth, skin, everything could be used because they weren't human, just resources. And Ilse Koch took this logic to its ultimate point. Didn't just kill, made art, decoration, household items from humans. And this is the darkest result of ideology. Tattoos, art, stories you carry on your body, a loved one's name, a meaningful symbol, a memory, should be a beautiful thing. But at Buchenwald, a tattoo was a death sentence because one woman collected them, made a collection, like stamps. But they weren't stamps. They were people. They had names, they had families, they had dreams, and all became part of a collection. Lampshades, book covers, gloves. In Ilse Koch's house, if we're going to take anything from this story, it should be this. Dehumanization is real. Turning people into objects is possible. If ideology allows it, if society stays silent, if we say they're different from us, then everything becomes possible. Every horror, every humiliation. And Ilse Koch was living proof of that. That's what the tattoos remind us of. They weren't just decoration, they were people. And we must never forget.